Om. 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 Let us pray to Patanjali Maharshi. Yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram munina patanjalim pranjalim anatosmi nityam. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namah shivaya. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you to today's session of Yoga Sutra. I am conducting these sessions as a study hour, as my study. I am a student. I am not a Pandita. I am not a Jnani. I am not a scholar. I am not a guru. I am studying myself from various books, Yoga Sutras, and I am making some notes, and I am making those notes available to you. If there are any mistakes in my understanding, please forgive me. Let me share my screen. We have completed about 24 sutras in chapter 1. Today we will be looking at 25th sutra. Chapter 1, 25th sutra. Avataranika. The connection between 24th sutra and 25th sutra. Kim cha, as per Vyasa Bhashya. We are studying this Patanjali Yoga Sutras with the help of the commentary given by Vyasa Bhashya. Kimcha, meaning, and then the specialty of the special Purusha. We have talked about Ishwara in previous classes. What is the specialty of this Ishwara is being told. Sutra number 1.25. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijatvam. Repeat after me. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijatvam. One more time. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijatvam. One more time. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijatvam. One more time. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijatvam. What is the meaning of this? Ishwara is that person. Sarvagnya bija, the seed of omniscience, the ability to understand something, to know things very deeply. That seed, that ability to know, the capacity to understand, analyze and know and knowledge, all these things are niratishayam, unsurpassed in that special Purusha. That special Purusha is called Ishwara. Ishwara is the repository of unparalleled infinite knowledge, and Ishvara is omniscient. This is the meaning of Sutra 1.25. So let us see Vyasa Bhashya. Vyasa Bhashya. You need not repeat this. I will read it out and then I will give you the meaning of this. Yadidam atita anagat pratyutpanna pratyeka samuchayatindriya grahana alpam bahu iti sarvagnya bijametat vardhamanam yatra niratishayam sa sarvagnya asti kashta praptihi sarvagnya bijasya satishayatva parimanavat iti yatra kashta praptir jnanasya sa sarvagnya sacha purusha vishesha iti samanya matropasamhare cha krutopakshayam anumanam na vishesha pratipattau samadham iti tasya sanyadi vishesha pratipattaragamata paryanveshya tasya atmanugraha abhavepi bhutanugraha prayojanam jnana dharma upadeshena kalpa pralaya mahapralayeshu samsarinaha purushan uddharishyamiti tadacha uttam adi vidvan nirmana chittam adhishtaya karunyat bhagavan paramarshi Aasuraye Jijnasam Manaya Tantram Provacheti. Meaning is, Vyasa Bhashyam explained, the intuitive understanding and deep knowledge and extrasensory perception. Don't think it's magical or something like that. A very deep intuitive knowledge and ability to understand. Maybe something you can talk about mystical knowledge also, but don't bring mystical angle to it. You can bring mystical angle if you are inclined to that. The intuitive understanding and deep knowledge and extrasensory perception about an object or something in the past, which has happened in the past, or happening in the present, or about to happen in future. Whether this knowledge is about a particular thing, about one thing, or about a group of things, is called the seed of omniscience about that object, particular thing. So the ability to understand, the capacity to understand, and the understanding, this is called the seed of omniscience. Sarvagnya Bijam. This is called Sarvagnya Bijam. Sarvagnya means knowing everything. Bijam means seed. Sarvagnya Bija means the seed of omniscience. This Sarvagnya Bijam, seed of omniscience, is present in a lesser degree in some people and in higher degree in some people. Some people can understand complex things, abstract things. For example, you know, in the 19th century, I think, 19th century or 20th century, there was a mathematician from India called Ramanujam. And Ramanujam was able to understand deep mathematical problems. Whatever he has solved 100 years back, mathematicians are struggling to understand even now. So, this capacity of a knowledge of the intellect or the ability to understand abstract thinking is present in lesser degree in some people and in higher degree in some more people. Some people can understand quickly, have deep knowledge. Some people understand superficially. It is true in secular knowledge as well as spiritual knowledge. When the Sarvajna Bijam, the seed of omniscience, sprouts in a person to a greatest degree, crossing all limits and becomes limitless, then that person is called Sarvajna, omniscient. Okay? When this Sarvajna Bijam, the seed of omniscience, sprouts, takes roots, and grows in a person, slowly it develops to a greatest degree, crossing all limits and becomes limitless, then that person can be called as Sarvajna, all-knowing, omniscient. The limit of smallness is atom, Anuparinam. And limit of vastness is universe, Brahmanda, Mahat Parinam. The Sarvajna Bijam, seed of omniscience, grows and reaches the greatest limit. That means, if a person tries to understand the smallest thing, he will know about the smallest thing in the universe. He will have understanding about subtler aspects. And he will also understand about macro things, micro and macro. Whatever is the limit for something, that up to the highest limit, the person can grow his knowledge and understanding. This Sarvajna Bijam in the person, in a person, if it reaches highest limit and becomes limitless, that person is called omniscient and is the Purusha Vishesha, Ishwara, special Purusha. You can think of it as two ways. We talked about in the previous sutra that a person, a jiva, through his own efforts and yoga, attains supreme peace and becomes free of bondage. What is the difference between such a jnani and Ishwara is, Ishwara was never in bondage. There never was a time when Ishwara was in bondage. Similarly, a person may do yoga, understand things, develop his Sarvajna Bijam, and becomes omniscient, Sarvajna. But the difference between that person and Ishwara is, Ishwara was, is, and will always will be Sarvajna. Whereas a Tattvajnani, a Jnani, was an ignorant person at one point of time, and in another point of time, he may become knowledgeable about a thing or a group of things. He may become Sarvajna about a particular subject. But in Ishvara, it is timeless, omniscience, and it is Niratishaya, unparalleled and unsurpassed. That is the difference between a normal person becoming a jnani and a Ishvara who was God, who was, is, and will always be Sarvajna. See, there is something called, to prove a thing, there are different ways of proving a thing. Pramana means, we have talked about pramana in previous yoga sutras. What are the pramanas that yoga system accepts? One of the acceptable proof, valid proof, means of proving something is Anumana Pramana. The Anumana Pramana, we have discussed about it in previous sutras. You can refer to that. The Anumana Pramana is capable of giving general knowledge or general characteristics about an object, but it fails to give particular or special knowledge of an object's characteristics. That is the nature of Anumana Pramana. It gives in a general guideline, about an object. It doesn't give a particular knowledge. Therefore, to know about Ishvara, one should get the special knowledge about Ishvara only through scriptures, Shastras, like Veda. By reading Veda, studying Vedas, understanding Ishvara becomes easier, because the names, forms, characteristics, the Leela, all about Ishvara is extensively explained or described in Vedas, and those scriptures which are following Vedas, which are as per Vedas, which follow the understanding as per Vedas. So those scriptures which are good scriptures and also Vedas, through that help, one will know about Ishvara. One should strive to know about Ishvara. Not only one will know, yes, one will definitely know if you study, but one should put effort to know about Ishvara by studying Vedas and scriptures which are as per Vedas. And it is told in the Vedas that Ishvara is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the universe. So, why is he doing that? Does he have any selfish desire? Ishvara has no selfish desire. He has no personal agenda of his own. Ishvara's purpose is for Loka Kalyana, welfare of the world. Ishvara's purpose is to shower his grace on the bhaktas, devotees, sadhus, sages, satpurushas, saints. This is the purpose of Ishvara. The purpose of Ishvara is to teach spiritual wisdom and dharma, righteousness, to the spiritual seekers, both at the beginning of the creation of the universe, as well as creation of a new lifetime for a person. So Ishvara teaches spiritual wisdom and dharma. And how does Ishvara teach? He has taught in Bhagavad Gita, he has taught in Vedas. Read them, study them, and you will understand what the teaching of Ishvara is. You have to learn the teaching of Ishvara from a Guru, Sadguru, who is a realized master, who is practicing spiritual practices. From such a person, a holy person, a saint, a sadhu, you should learn Bhagavad Gita. You will know what Ishvara is, and you will know what Ishvara's teaching is through such holy persons and saintly persons. One should associate with saintly persons, have satsanga, always be in satsanga with holy persons, and that through that company we will understand. It is told in scriptures or by the elders, by the sages, saints, the primordial teacher, the Adi Guru, Adi Vidwan, the Adi Guru, the greatest Rishi, Paramarshi, Ishvara, through his strong will, Sankalpa, Ishvara is Satya Sankalpa, he willed out of his compassion, he has revealed the Tantra, which is Veda and other scriptures and teachings, to the spiritual seekers to uplift them spiritually. Bhagavan, in the beginning of the universe creation, has revealed Vedas to Brahmaji, and through Brahmaji in the lineage has come to Rishis, and through Rishi Parampara we got it. Through our own Guru, in this is the Rishi Parampara. Through this Rishi Parampara, the scriptures have come to us, and through scriptures we will know Ishvara, Bhagavan. And through that knowledge, by worshipping that Ishvara and Bhagavan, Paramatma, one will attain liberation and highest goal. The Ishvara is known through many mantras in Veda, using many names and forms. Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Agni, Guru, Atma. So many names are used for Ishvara in the Vedas and associated scriptures. In Veda, it is told, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. What is that meaning? Sat is one, truth is one, but the scholars and the sages and the saints call the truth by various names and worship through different forms and names, that same truth. Therefore, we should always remember that whatever be a person is praying, it is a form of Bhagavan. So we should respect all religions, we should respect all ways of worship, we should respect all forms of worship. However, we should hold fast to our Vedic way of worship. We should respect others. At the same time, we should give highest preference to the teaching which has come to us through our gurus. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya Rishi answers his wife and disciple about the supreme thing to be known. In that Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, he says, the Brahmavadis, knowers of Brahman, say that the supreme truth, the thing to be known, is called Akshara, imperishable. Akshara is neither gross nor physical, neither atomic, neither short nor long. It is impartial towards all, without a shadow, without ignorance, without five elements, unassociated with anything, without any taste, smell, touch, form, sound, without thoughts or mind, without prana, without face. Neither it is inside nor outside. Neither it is a consumer of experiences of mind, nor can it be experienced by mind. This is the definition of Ishwara, Paramatma, Parabrahma, given by Yajnavalkya Rishi to his wife. Not to his wife, I think. I made a mistake, I think. This is to Gargi in a discourse given by him. So he says, O Gargi, this Akshara cannot be seen but sees all, cannot be heard but hears all, cannot be thought of but witness of all thoughts, cannot be known but knows all. O Gargi, one should put effort to know about Akshara. Everything depends on this Akshara. Gargi, in one of the assembly, in spiritual discussions, she challenges Yajnavalkya. She asks, what is this dependent on? What is this dependent? Finally, when he says, it is everything is dependent on the Akasha, she asks, what is Akasha dependent on? And he says, it is he explains about Akshara, the Atma, Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, and he says, Akasha is dependent on Atma. Then she asks, what is the Akshara dependent on? Then he reproaches her, saying that you should not ask that question. So what is the purpose of Ishvara? Ishvara is pure, holy, bliss, and eternally free. Therefore, Ishvara does not gain anything by the creation. Ishvara does not create universes just to appease himself. Ishvara creates universes so that the jivas can get a chance to learn spiritual wisdom and do spiritual practices and gain eternal peace and bliss. This is the purpose of Ishvara. The word Asura means or refers to Ishvara in Vedic scriptures. As the jivas are the children of Asura, they are called Aasuri. In this Vyasa Bhashya, the spiritual seekers are mentioned as Aasuri Jignasu. Therefore, in the Vyasa Bhashya, it is told that Ishvara purpose is to teach jnana, spiritual wisdom, and dharma to the Aasuri Jignasu, spiritual seekers. Some commentators of Yoga Sutra take the word Aasuri as the name of a person who was a disciple of sage Kapila and comment that as Kapila Rishi, Ishvara has taught to Aasuri. This way, some people explain that line. But we have to take this line to mean that Aasuri Jignasu as the spiritual seekers, and Ishvara's purpose is to teach jnana and dharma to all spiritual seekers. It's also mentioned about Kalpa pralaya. What is a Kalpa? See, Hindus know, Hindu scriptures explain that time is relative. In 20th century, modern science recognized that time is relative through theory of relativity. But in ancient scriptures of Hindus, it is mentioned that time is relative. They mention that different time scales in different lokas. For example, one day of a devata, an angel, it is 1 year for humans, etc. Similarly, 1 year of devata is considered 1 day of Brahmadeva. So, 100 years of Brahmadeva is considered one kalpa. So, in a kalpa, there will be, in a human being scale, we have 1 year, and such years, I don't know the exact number, but let us say 400,000 years. 400,000 years is considered Kali Yuga. Similarly, 800,000, 8 lakh years is considered the Dwapara Yuga. Similarly, like that. I don't know the exact number, I'm just guessing it. So, that is a scale about yugas. So, in a Brahmaji's kalpa, one kalpa, 1000 Chatur yugas. So, Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kruta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga together is called a Chatur Yuga. 1000 such Chatur Yugas in a particular universe is called one Kalpa. And there will be dissolution at the end of each Kalpa. So this is called Kalpa pralaya, the dissolution at the end of a Kalpa. And after the dissolution, there will be another creation. During this creation, again, the Ishwara will give the teaching in the form of Vedas to Brahmaji, who will create the Brahmanda. So that is what is mentioned. The dissolution or pralaya at the end of all the universes, all the Brahmandas, is called Mahapralaya. So Ishwara teaches the spiritual science at the beginning of each kalpa and creation after Mahapralaya to all the eligible spiritual seekers. Ishwara has given us Vedas at the beginning of creation. This is also told in Bhagavata Mahapurana that Narayana, the Supreme Being, has given the Vedas, knowledge of Vedas to Chaturmukha Brahma. And Chaturmukha Brahma is able to create the world using this Vedic knowledge. So this is how Bhagavata Mahapurana has told. So what is individual's duty? We should take the help of scriptures, Veda, etc. to know about Ishvara and do worship of Ishvara properly. We should surrender to will of Ishvara. What is the will of Ishvara? Will of Ishvara is known through the scriptures, Dharma Shastras, the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, and the Vedas. That is the will of Ishvara. We should follow that. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, first sloka, it is told, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave abravir. What Krishna says is, I taught this imperishable spiritual science to Sun God in the beginning of the creation. Sun God taught this to his son Manu, and Manu taught this to King Ikshvaku. And Evam Parampara Praptam, the next shloka says, so this way, Parampara, the lineage of teaching, flows from Adiguru, Narayana, to Brahmaji in one lineage as per Bhagavata Mahapurana. And as per Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, he has taught the spiritual science at the beginning of creation to Sun God. Sun God taught this to Manu, and Manu taught this to King Ikshvaku. And through this lineage, other Rajarshis got this teaching. So, Ishvara, as per this sutra, is the benefactor. His only purpose is to teach the spiritual science to all the eligible spiritual seekers. Jignasu, Aasuri Jignasu. All the spiritual seekers, who are children of God, they should get the teaching in the lineage, in the parampara, Guru Parampara. So in the Rishi Parampara, Guru Parampara, we are getting this knowledge. We should honor this, learn this, and practice this. And Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, sloka number 22, it is told, Name pardasti kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana, nan avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Krishna says, there is no duty for me to do in all the three worlds, Varta, nor do I have anything to gain or attain. Yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. So this is the karma of God. God is engaged in this teaching and running of the show so that jivas like us who want to uplift themselves, they seek the blessing of Ishwara, learn the teaching, practice it, and uplift ourselves. This concludes the Sutra number 25 in chapter 1 of Yoga Sutra. Any questions?
Yeah, it was nice session actually, and little, I would say, lengthy but nicely explained. So, so this I was just having that Mahapralaya. So this will be, there are many other planets as per our understanding, and so maybe these different planets would be having different yugas, or all are
Yes.
all are
See, the time scale is different. Even in our solar system, the length of the day on Earth is different from the length of the day on Mars. And the length of the day on Venus is different from the length of the day on Earth. The 1 year for Earth is the time taken to travel around the sun. That is different from the 1 year of Mars, 1 year of Venus, so on and so forth. So the beings in each planet have different time scales, different yogas and all. So think of one solar system if it is like this. Think of different solar systems, different stars, galaxies in the universe, and what will be the time scales in those universes. This has been seen by our rishis in the ancient scriptures.
okay. Thanks. So it was very nice and very descriptive. Thank you. Thank you for the session.
Thank you. Let us close the session. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much.